But now there's a huge strike going on that could affect a business that's near and dear to all of us, which means
there's a civil war at Cinnabon, and it's delicious.
Well, wait.
All right, so what's going on here? If you have been watching my videos, in a recent video I mentioned that I've been watching the Gutfeld show while I'm going to bed because it changed time slots. And in addition to it being on a little bit earlier, I don't find the show that interesting. It's kind of doesn't really appeal to me. And so it's a good way for me to kind of relax and fall asleep because it's just nonsense that I can have on in the background and relax to. And now we have this video here. It's going to be about a strike at Cinnabon, and it's going to be way more woke than you might think. Or rather, go woke, get fired sort of situation. And before we get started, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. And stick around to the end for the palate cleanser. That's always something fun and interesting, although this is going to be a more fun video than is typical. Now, let's dive in and see what's up with Cinnabon.
Wait, what'd you think I was talking about? The writer's strike? I mean, do you people even care?
Well, I mean, his lame jokes aside, Hollywood writers, do we really need as many of them as we have? It is going to affect me eventually. It's going to come down to me in my position as a teacher in Hollywood because people are going to stop attending my school thinking that, okay, well, I can't get a job as an animator because there's no more animated shows. And animated shows are more expensive to make than live action shows. So are animated movies, often. Well, you know, a lot of the big expense on these movies that are not animated is the animation that's in them because, you know, Spider-Man does a lot of stuff that a human being can't do. So we use CG animation for that, right? Yeah, so there's that. I mean, that's my sad story. But the thing is Hollywood, honestly, I would change my vocation. Maybe I'll become a professional YouTuber. Yeah, that's going to work out. So far, no. Yeah, I think people are they're fed up with the wokeness. They don't care that you're on strike. Go be on strike. I have more important things to worry about than your woke agenda. But anyway, let's get into the Cinnabon thing. That's going to be the interesting part.
So on Friday, workers in the Cinnabon in LA declared a strike and filed a civil rights complaint against their employer. The reason...
Okay. They filed a civil rights complaint against Cinnabon. They're on strike in LA at the Cinnabon. I did not realize Cinnabon was a union. Are they? I mean, does somebody know? Can you go down in the comments and leave me? They're not a union, are they? Wait. All right, let's see what they got to say.
The owner installed a policy banning political statements in the store, including pride flags.
How dare he?
How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, they're a business. They're not there to push their agenda. They're there to sell you cinnamon buns covered in hot jizz. That's it. That's what you get when you go to... You know what you're getting. You walk in, you get the cinnamon bun with the hot jizz, and it's amazingly delicious. Sometimes you get a side of syrup for dipping.
But it's true. An exec who oversees a bunch of Cinnabons sent out a message declaring that we do not discriminate or celebrate any particular race, ethnic group, gender-specific group, religious group. If any store is displaying a pride flag, it's to be taken down immediately.
Well said. I couldn't have really said it any better. Yeah, these businesses, you're about selling a product, about providing a service. You're not about pushing some sort of agenda or saying, you know, I support these people. Hey, if gay people go into the store, if lesbian, bisexual, gay, trans, queer, what does the A stand for? I don't even, asexual? I don't know. Jeez, these things. If any of those people go into the store and say, hey, I want to buy a cinnamon roll covered in hot jizz, are you going to be like, no, I'm not selling that to you because I got my own agenda? If I walk into the store not being any of the alphabet people and say, hey, can I get a cinnamon roll covered in hot jizz? Are they going to be like, no, we don't cater to you because you're not an LGBT alphabet person, so we don't know what to do? I mean, ridiculous that these companies want to take a side now. Don't take a side. Just sell me a product that's going to ruin my health, perhaps even ruin my life. That's what I go to companies for. When are people going to realize this?
And one of the workers asked if a rainbow pin would be okay. He said, quote, non-specific pins are okay, but sports teams, groups, school pins are not. Another
Exactly. It's not about pushing your agenda on people or even, they don't even want to touch this area like, oh, I have a Raiders pin on. Well, maybe somebody who comes in doesn't like the Raiders, so doesn't want to shop here anymore. Hello? This is the way you should be treating your business.
Birds. Let's stick to doing what Cinnabon does best, making all of us grotesquely fat. Just get my order right. That's all I ask. So why is this a story? It's entirely reasonable to demand employees not turn your bakery into a political rally. And the owner employs openly gay workers at the store, so clearly he's not discriminating. But that's not the way the workers took it. Instead, they called it homophobic. One said the policy made it feel like she had to hide herself, adding, quote, "I started to not feel comfortable in my own skin. It really lowered my self-esteem. And I was starting not to like myself when I looked in the mirror."
Well, I think you got bigger problems than your employer, then, you idiot. Look, if there's a Trump-supporting Republican or whatever, a Trump supporter working at your store, and you put up a MAGA flag, and then the boss says, "Yeah, we got to take that down. We're taking that down." You're going to be like, "Oh, that's it. Can't look at myself in the mirror anymore." Now, you might be saying, well, there's a difference between somebody who supports a politician and somebody who identifies as an alphabet person. Yeah. Well, what if we put up a straight pride flag, and then the owner says, "Hey, got to take that down. Can't have that." "Oh, I'm heartbroken. How dare you deny my existence? Oh, Cinnabon, you're ruining my life." Ah. No. Okay.
So wait, is that from the ban on flags? Because it sounds like she just ate a Cinnabon. Now, where did Americans get the idea that your office space is supposed to be some form of self-actualization? You're there to do a job, not to have your virtues validated. As for the owner who's just doing the right thing, he faces a civil rights complaint. Civil rights. Since when did where you work become your right to wear whatever you want? When Fox clarified their must-wear pants to the office policy, I didn't like it, but I respected it.
I had the same problem at my job. You got to wear pants. Got to wear clothes at all.
And they're striking for their right to wear a button. I mean, do you think when unions were invented, it was for that? Do you think kids making shoes for Nike somewhere in a warehouse in China are like, "Hey, you go, girl"? Now the employee also worried that she could be attacked for who she loves, adding, "It's a dangerous world out there, and we just want to feel safe." And what world could be more dangerous than working at a Cinnabon? Doctors call that job the widowmaker.
Yeah, I used to make cinnamon buns with my mother when I was a child. One of my happy experiences in between all of the beatings. But no, we'd make frosting, we'd make the cinnamon buns, all that stuff. It was good. It was good stuff, better than the Cinnabon, honestly. Yeah, why you're striking over not being able to express your identity at work. It's the funny thing. If I mention anything in any of my classes that can be remotely construed as conservative point of view, I get a complaint to my supervisor. I am 100% not joking. Maybe I'm wrong on what I'm about to tell you. Look it up and tell me if I'm wrong. I don't care, but this is what I understand it to be. Talk about how we measure stuff in 3D space on the computer. And I say, the empirical system is based on religion, it's based on Christianity, because you can divide by 3 for the Holy Trinity and 4 for the Holy Trinity plus Mother Mary. And I get complaints for saying that. "Oh my God, he brought up religion in the classroom." He's evil. Dude, this is a private college. It's not a public high school. And not only that, I'm not preaching religion. On the other hand, talk about the name of the 3D software package, one of the 3D software packages we use, it's called Maya. People will ask, "Hey, where does the name Maya come from? Why is this called Maya?" And I'm like, it comes from the Hindu religion. It's the fake world that we all live in, so the illusory world. So we're creating illusions on the screen. Nobody says a thing. Nobody's ever said a thing about me mentioning the Hindu religion. But Christianity, how dare you bring up God, and it's like so ridiculous. And people are like, they'll say even like, "Well, I'm not even a religious person, but this is offensive." I'm like, of course it's offensive, because you're not religious. That's why it's offensive to you. And you're also not intelligent. So, I mean, if you're not religious, why do you care if people talk about religion? But it's the same thing here at the Cinnabon. The Cinnabon is like, "Oh, well, you have to do things, just sell cinnamon buns. That's all we want to do." And then people are like, "I'm offended. How dare you?"
Now, I get being worried about safety in California, but to equate not wearing a pin as life-threatening shows you how much the left has perverted the idea of safety. "Everyone wants to feel safe" is always said before they cancel a speech. I hate to tell you, you D-bags, no one is that interested in you enough to do you harm. Why do you think fake hate crimes exist? People living bored and very safe lives need to fantasize that they're not. Look, most people don't care who made their Cinnabon, and they don't want to be scolded as bigots. They want a sugar fix, not a lecture. Nobody walked into your restaurant to learn how different and fascinating you are. They don't care who you slept with last night or if you get hit by a Mack truck tomorrow. You're simply not that interesting. So schedule your 24-hour celebration of yourself for later. Fact is, maybe one day you'll make something of yourself, but wearing a button while you do it won't help. How is this a civil rights case?
It's not.
You're a lawyer, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's not a civil rights issue. That's the whole point. So generally speaking, in stark contrast to what these people are arguing, employers can actually adopt and enforce workplace rules that prohibit non-work-related activities, right? And that includes purely political ones. That includes wearing buttons and shirts and the like. And the fact that these employees, or then the quotes that you read, where they're going from 0 to 60, that heaven forbid a workplace policy that's essentially like, hey, get to work, and says all buttons are prohibited. They're not saying just the ones that are just rainbow.
All buttons,
right?
Belly buttons.
But they're making a clear stance that all they want to do is have the workplace be free of all kinds of political noise and all kinds of nonsense. And the fact that the employees are extrapolating then their self-value, their identities, all of a sudden I can't look in the mirror, they say, what if Cinnabon doesn't have our back? If I'm attacked in the store, I don't feel safe anymore. That's a whole different issue than them saying, please don't wear a shirt that's going to distract the customers from that 900-gram fat, awesome dessert.
Well, it's the number one thing I look for when I walk into an establishment. I need a special flag
Yes.
that says I am specifically welcome here.
Yes.
Kyle Mann of the Babylon Bee is welcome at this establishment,
Yes.
or I don't feel welcome. So
Yeah.
I always need the button, or some way to tell what their sexual preference is, or I don't feel safe about eating the Cinnabon.
We've perverted the idea of what safe is, right? Remember what I mean? Try to think about people who went to war and talking about their safety, and now it's about a pin. If I don't, by the way, it doesn't make sense. If I can't say who I am, I'm in danger. But then people won't know who you are, which means you're safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that beacon a lot. I hope I don't wear it out.
The Cinnabon itself is more dangerous because of its fat content than any of the policies in the workplace.
Yes, these people are murderers. Every Cinnabon kills like 12 people. That's a fact.
The problem, Greg, is it's identity. They see their Facebooks and they think they're influencers and stars. You're not even in a union. Why has he not fired them? They're at will.
Yeah.
So as soon as they took the will to step out and make signs saying that if I don't get to wear something that identifies me to be singled out, to be special, also to your point, Greg, if I was a gay basher or a homophobe, I'd be looking, oh, there's the rainbow badge, attack.
If you need me, use the beacon.
Yes.
So they don't have that. So it makes no sense. You're not singling me out because I represent Cinnabon. I have to wear the uniform of Cinnabon. You're an employee, a low-level employee. You should be inspired to want to get out and above.
Yes.
I didn't always get to come to work in summer shorts, my hat on backwards, chilling. I earned that. I wear the same as everybody else. And when I had an opinion, the guy at Burger King was like, no, it's not your way, it's their way.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't like it, quit. Make yourself something of substance to where you can decide, I'm going to wear pins and flair,
yes.
all that other kind of stuff.
Also, they said you couldn't wear pins for a sports team or a school or any. So it wasn't
no
just like
sports
no
stuff.
gay pins.
Nothing to take away from the Cinnabon accoutrement.
You know, if you really
Yeah, exactly. So these people are not in a union. Just fire them. Why are they trying to identify as something that, and then saying, I don't feel safe because I can't exist in the world because I'm this thing. So I'm going to put a flag up that shows that I'm this thing. Just put a beacon out for all the people who want to hurt you, is what you're saying. Ridiculous, stupid. Now, these people don't have a leg to stand on. They're at-will employees. They are unskilled laborers, and they make low wages. They are easily replaceable. I mean, do adults work at the Cinnabon? I mean, I assume there's some. But mostly it's like probably teenagers, 18 and 16, 17-year-old kids working at the Cinnabon, getting a free cinnamon bun every day for lunch. That's what they do. And they make just a little bit of money because, I mean, you can't charge $25 for one cinnamon bun. That's a lot of money. People wouldn't go there anymore. And then, you'd have to charge that much, though, to raise the wages to something reasonable for an adult. So, yeah, these guys have no leg to stand on. They're at-will employees. Just fire them. Get rid of them. Move on. All right, now it's time for the palate cleanser.